Scorpio, I would say what's going on with you, but I already kind of know. So sit down. Let's chat for a little bit. Let's talk about the cards that I pulled, and we'll commiserate a little bit, and then we'll pull some cards to figure out how we're going to handle this. Okay? And just to be clear, this is a timeless reading. So whenever it finds you, is when it's meant to find you. And again, it's for Scorpio, sun, moon, rising. So yeah, commiseration. Let's talk a little bit. I, as you can see, am dressed for just, hanging around the house, doing stuff, cleaning, right? And that's how I intended to spend my day. My ex was supposed to come over and get the rest of his stuff out of here. Let's just say it didn't happen. And this is the third time that it didn't happen. And I'm sure you can imagine I am tired of living with the, what I call, bloated corpse of our failed relationship. Like, there's this part of me that's like, all right, I learned what I need to learn from this. I'm ready to move on, go forth, come on. And so, yeah, I feel like you might be in that kind of energy too, where you're feeling maybe a little stuck, a little, I'll say, Martian. Because on top of that, I got a text message from my daughter who is displeased with me over something. And yeah, I went into Scorpio shadow energy. And I know you know what I'm talking about, right? I was playing the song Vow by Garbage at full volume and driving around earlier. I've come to cut you up, I came to knock you down, I came around to tear your little world apart. Like, I was just angry, There's a part of me that was like, I'm going to take that bastard stuff and just start chucking it over my balcony. And then my higher self stepped in and said, yeah, don't litter. Don't litter. That's not good. Just go pull some cards. And so I'm sitting here at a tarot table, right? I cleansed everything, cleansed myself. And after I pulled the cards, Spirit said, there's another Scorpio out there who needs to hear this. So here we are, friend. All right, the cards that I pulled. The Warrior and Mars. Now, these are from two different decks, okay? You've probably seen these before. This is from the Archetypes deck. And the Mars card is from the Astrology Oracle deck. But it just kind of confirmed what I was already thinking, right? I was full of this Martian energy, and you probably are too. Like, whatever needs to get done is going to get done. I'm going to make this happen come hell or high water. I am a warrior, and I am going to overcome this, and we are just going to keep on going, right? And then the next card that I pulled was this. The Natos. The Death card, which is quintessential Scorpio energy, right? How many times have we all been reborn and died and reborn and died in this lifetime? Like, I know you feel this. So we've got Warrior and Death energy, and then I pulled out the tarot cards. And just so if you want to know, these are the cards that I'm using today. All right. So yeah, current energy. It's a Five of Swords, right? The Five of Swords is, look at how she's holding his head. And it goes right along with this Martian energy, right? Like, I'm cutting my losses. I am done with this shit. Yeah? This is where we are right now. Five of Swords. The problem is the Nine of Swords is in the challenge area. Now, since you're watching tarot, you probably watch other tarot readers, and you know all about the Nine of Swords. This is the card of self-doubt. This is the card of anxiety. This is the card of sleepless nights. Yeah. And that's in our challenge area right now. In the focus area, the death card. This is what we're supposed to be focusing on. Whatever relationship squabbles, endings, beginnings, whatever we have going on. And I mean, look, I know we're all living like on a different timeline, right? I mean, for you, this could be a work thing. For me, it's a family thing. Somebody else, it could be a friendship thing. But the energy is still the same. So just keep that in mind. And if this does not resonate with you at all, that's fine. This might not be your reading, and you can come back, and the next one will be. But if you're feeling this, stick around, because we've got more cards to talk about, and we're going to pull some cards to see how we should handle this. So, yeah. Death, Thanatos. There's something much larger than just us happening here, right? This is a pivotal moment. And just so you know, out of the 10 card Celtic cross spread that I did, 4 of the cards are major arcana. You know what that means. That's the big stuff, right? That's not the daily stuff of the minor arcana. The major arcana are like not just chapters in a book, they are whole books in and of themselves. Yeah. So yeah, and I got 4 major arcana, 4 swords, okay, and then like 1 cup, 1 pentacle, no wands whatsoever. So yeah, we're definitely, I think, feeling our Scorpio shadow side today, and we are not just in our feels, but in our heads as well. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. We'll get to that. Okay, so in the very recent past, the Justice card. And man, I love justice. I love karma. And it's very tempting, probably, not to be part of delivering that justice and karma sometimes, which is what I mean by Scorpio shadow side. Sometimes it's not up to us. And the position that this card is in is basically Spirit's way of saying, hey, it happened, okay? You're just going to have to make your peace with it. You don't need to deliver any further justice or karma, because if it hasn't happened already, it's going to happen. You just have to focus on yourself, okay? Make peace with this. Do what you have to do to make peace with it. Feel the feelings. Keep a journal. But move on while you are focusing on feeling those feelings and undergoing that transformation. In the strengths position, we got the Emperor, which is Aries energy. I feel like you could be dealing with an Aries sun, Aries moon. But, you know, Scorpios have no problem taking over the Emperor, right? Look, ultimate authority rests with him. I love this card. We have absolutely no problem taking the reins and driving the wagon. Am I right? That's what we do. When we are called to step up and lead, we do it. And we don't shed tears about it. We just get it done. And that kind of goes back to, right, the Martian energy, the warrior energy. There's a lot of that coming out today. And that can absolutely be a strength. Absolutely. But Spirit is saying, the next card, which is the 8 of Pentacles, this is our future. There's still a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. And it would be very easy to sort of fall back into nostalgia, right? Because the position of the 6 of Cups, the 6 of Cups is about, you know, your past, maybe a soulmate, but mostly it speaks to a simpler time. I mean, look at this. You know, these adorable little kids out there playing soccer with a skull, because this is the Horror Tarot. But look how sweet. sweet and innocent and everything was easy and understandable. Yeah. And I think we're all longing for that time because of the complications that come with being in the middle of your death throes. This is not a comfortable process. It does not always feel good. What we're being asked to focus on is the King of Swords. It's absolutely fine to cut those losses. It's a good thing to cut those losses and move on. But we might need to do it in a more dispassionate way. Okay? The King of Swords is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. This is air energy. Very intellectual. Very analytical. And I know, tarot readers and therapists all talk about analysis paralysis. And it's easy to get into that energy. That's Nine of Swords energy. But it doesn't have to go that way. I think we're being asked to just, I can't even talk, excuse me, take a sip of tea. We're being asked to cut away what is not necessary, not just with relationships, but within ourselves. We've got to be looking within ourselves for what parts no longer fit the person that we're becoming, what no longer serves us, right? The king has thought about that long and hard, and the king knows. So Spirit is saying, if you can embody that energy and sit in your thoughts without getting into the Nine of Swords energy, without feeling that anxiety, just think about what's your next move? What's your next step? What do we need to keep working on? Because that's what the Eight of Pentacles is about, hard work. And apparently we have a lot more of that coming up for us. So we have a lot to learn. The Page of Swords is sometimes a messenger, but Spirit's telling me here this is about curiosity and new ideas, right? It's getting into this swords energy and saying, okay, how can I handle this better? How can I make happen what it is I'm wanting to happen for the highest good of everybody involved, right? Rather than chucking our ex's things over a balcony. Because at the end of this, at the end of it, we've got Judgment. Judgment is a card of rebirth. It's a card of awakening, right? Nobody ever said awakening is easy. And all of this, we'll say noise around us, whether it's ex-partners or angry children or toxic coworkers, whatever's happening for you, it's leading to something better for you and for me, since I'm a Scorpio sun. So yeah, we're being asked to focus maybe a little bit less on the warrior aspect and more on like the decisive intellectual aspect. It's really, I think we're being asked to balance. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards and see what kind of advice Spirit has for us, because we're going through some pretty heavy stuff energetically and probably in our daily lives as well. So, okay, we'll try this first. I just got this. The Witch's Way Home Oracle. I really like it. Okay, Spirit, what's a Scorpio need to focus on besides swords energy? how do we focus on this energy in a balanced way? Messages for Scorpio. Embody the earthly witch. Okay. Embody the earthly witch. I'm going to get the guidebook and see what that says, because I am still learning this deck. But you'll notice 3 and 2 adds up to what? 5. Changes. Changes. Transformation. Okay. Embody the earthly witch. This card celebrates the manifestation of your desires and the abundance that surrounds you. As an earthly witch, you are intimately connected to the rhythms of nature and the cycles of the earth. Now is a time of harvest when the seeds you have planted are bearing fruit. Embody the energies of the earthly witch in all her forms. The green witch represents growth, fertility, and the bountiful harvest of the land. Allow yourself to receive the abundance that is your birthright, knowing that you are deserving of all the blessings that come your way. So it's interesting that this is the card we pulled, because when I pulled the tarot cards earlier, the Empress was at the bottom of the deck. She has everything a woman could want in abundance. And this feels very much like this earthly witch card to me. Like if we can just sort of white knuckle it and hold on, right? Just keep holding on, keep looking for that balance within here and here, especially here. We are this close to rebirth. We are this close to an awakening. And I say an awakening because, you know, you have more than one. You think you're ahead of the game, something happens, you realize maybe you're not as healed as you thought you were, you're not as awakened as you thought you were. But, you know, all we can do is aspire to be more spiritual, you know? Nobody, with the exception of maybe like Buddhist nuns, nobody's above it all. And I think anyone who presents that way is probably really good at presenting that way, but they're not like that all the time. We're just human beings. So yeah, I'm gonna pull another card. I like angels and ancestors because they're usually pretty straightforward with what they have to say. More advice for Scorpio while we're in the transformation. More advice for Scorpio while we're in transformation. Okay. Make plans and focus. It's going right back to the King of Swords energy, right? Make plans and focus. See your seeds grow. I wish you guys the best in getting through this particular transformation. It has been it's been a little bit more difficult than I think the usual ones. I don't know. Do you find that? Let me know in the comments. I would really like to hear what's going on for you. If this resonated with you, I would like to invite you back to come spend more time with me. Please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff. That helps get the video out there to other people who might benefit from the message. And I really appreciate your time sitting here with me, going through these cards. Just remember, for the time being, King of Swords it. Make your plans and focus. And before you know it, the rebirth is here. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Remember to don't be nice, be kind, especially to yourself.